And here are the picks and bans. Corrupted Keep, Awoken, Blood Covenant, Ruins, and Molten Falls. Thoughts on what we're seeing here?
I think that I like the pick from vengeurR and Awoken with the Sorlag. I think he can definitely take the pressure to rapha and Athena. Rapha obviously plays an amazing Athena, but it is, as we just saw with the clutch, when you have that stack advantage against a light champion, you can force the issue. Likewise, I do feel that vengeurR will struggle on Blood Covenant just because of how well Slash plays on that map in the hands of Rapha and the pressure he can put on with speed. But the rest of the maps, there's not really anything to tie them. It's really nice picks coming through.
Anyone else?
I really like the strong pick on Corrupted for Rapha. Looking forward to that high-flying speed and maybe some cheeky peeker plays. The Doom guy should be pretty good to kind of counter that. And again, the double jump is so good to kind of avoid splash damage and rocket fights up close. I'm just really looking forward to the series, man. We're getting close to it. Someone's going to take home the belt. And it's going to be, well, it has to be Rapha, but someone's going to win this whole thing. And Rapha, again, wanting to win this so he can take home the whole belt. So it's coming down to the wire.
And the great thing about all of this, it's not Liquid versus Maestro, it's the old guard versus the new generation of Quake players, adaptation versus the mechanics of some of these newer players. So it's going to be interesting to see how things will tie up.
I love that perspective on it. I mean, certainly a storyline that I always love, looking at, right? But it's exciting, right? Because for so long, people were like, oh, it's just the old players always dominate, and it's just not the case, and it hasn't been the case for a while. But it looks like we are ready to jump into this one, and we're going to give Flea a chance to take a break. Catch up. I would love to join you in commentating this match if you're down for it.
It's going to be an honor, mate. I don't want to get into this too much because we're about to jump in, but I've looked up to you for quite a while, so this is something I never thought would actually happen. But as we go into this first map, the Rapha and vengeurR, a match that people have been waiting a long time for. Rapha, can he be a two-time champ, or is vengeurR going to finally get that big result? He's already crazy far into this bracket, and you know he's out for #1.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, right at this point, obviously everyone wants to win. That's the obvious thing. However, really interesting between these two players because they've still kind of got that that one last chance card, right? Because they're in the upper finals. But taking that long break, sitting in the grand finals, is certainly a good feeling. Lets you review the rest of the game, and you aren't up against elimination yet. So we could have a first frag right here, and it does come out from Rapha. Both teams barreling into that room, but it's Rapha who comes out with the LG kill to take frag #1.
And the question's going to be, what does he get off the back of this? The answer for that right now is a considerable amount of push. The Heavy's going to be the first item to spawn here, but with Rapha and the crouch side of Strog, he has enough time to cycle over both of these items, and he can soak up both of them. Now vengeurR, looks like he's significantly behind, right? But he's famous for being able to play in this position. He's able to get these miracle defensive rockets. That's going to be one, taking out a lot of the armor. And vengeurR's going to try and stay as slippery as possible,
Yeah, I'm really a fan of not only this pick, but also the champions and the players who are playing them. Got a little bit of speed, a ton of precision, and this is one of those maps where things could go back and forth. Fight over Heavy through the teleport. Whoa! Oh my God, the super shotgun with the equalizer. 4 hit points left on there, and is Rapha going to come in hard looking for that when he does? The nail gun there, and wow,
this
going to be tied 2-2.
Is exactly why vengeurR's defensive plays are, at this point, surely it's got to be the best in the world. The way he can approach this, Rapha's going to take him out, but you look at those encounters, you look at the stack alone and think, how does he survive this, let alone score the frag himself?
Yeah, the peeker comes out there. They did trade on that one. Rapha, he got the conversion, but then again, vengeurR coming right off of it, tying it back up 3-3. If the whole game's like this catch-up, by the way, I just want to let the people know I'm totally fine. This is the type of back-and-forth action that I'd love to see in a winner bracket matchup like this one. Things equalizing a little bit. Another LG battle just outside the teleporter, and vengeurR still very aggressive with that vertical advantage there. He's down to 31 points of health, but he picks up the frag and the lead.
He has run out of lightning gun ammo though, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. Hindered his damage, and it forced him to weapon swap right as the peeker was coming out. Now, I mean, it's the nature of Corrupted Keep. This is a small map, no rail. combat heavy as anything, especially with these two picks. But every time a frag has been obtained, it's not been able to lead to a complete cycle of the map. You're able to get one of these items, another player spawns, and then, you know, Rapha's able to position himself on Mega, right? So they go back to a pretty similar state. Rapha sitting on a little bit more stack. A good rocket to open, and a third! Some self-damage. That's a bit tragic for vengeurR, but the opening damage was definitely good.
Yeah, and I love what you say there, too, because it shows who could have the advantage if they walk away from a frag, like with a decent-sized stack. It hasn't happened yet, and Rapha's going to bring it right back, choosing that battle, jumping down, a little scary against that LG, but he ties it back up 4-4. Now, the question is did he have the stack? Well, he is going to get that heavy out of the teleporter. Again, they exchange some more damage using the heavy machine gun to try to finish him off, and it's not going to happen, but oh my gosh, the Mega there to save him.
This is where things change quite significantly across the map. Now there is a giant delay for this map standards in between the two items. So if you're able to frag someone right as one of them appears, it's not a matter of, okay, well, they're going to spawn and then soak up the other one. They're not going to have time to do that now, and the aggressing player will have time to be able to set themselves up. Now vengeurR does get a frag. There is going to be no heavy, and he's going to be able to position himself towards this Mega. And like I've said, there's enough of a delay that Rapha's not able to spawn and position himself there first. He has a lead. It's a slight lead. Swapping to the LG, knowing that Rapha doesn't have one. A lot of faith going in for the Pika. Challenging the weapon swap. Both players pretty weak and no armor. Rapha likely to soak up that light that's in an nailgun room, and he will take it. And the next call to action, it's going to be the heavy. vengeurR respecting it.
Yep, and he's just going to back off a little bit. It's going to allow Rapha to take it, and I think that was a smart move there. He got quite a bit of LG damage from up above. Nice rocket. You've been talking about those perfectly placed rockets from vengeurR throughout the entire weekend. Another one there, but no armor. Not a battle he wants to take. He's going to give away his position there. A direct rocket does nice damage versus Rapha, but once again, back off. Light picked up by Rapha. Going to head on over to the heavy. There will be a battle here. vengeurR drops down one rocket and says, okay, I'm out of here.
Now that right there is the exact reason as to why timing lights can be an underratedly important tool as well, because Rapha had timing on the light, vengeurR didn't. vengeurR thinks the light's going to spawn, overstays his welcome, and then right on time, Rapha appears, knowing vengeurR wouldn't have any armor, so he pushes his way in, takes the armor, and now he's scored another frag, and an extra light to boot. Rapha putting those lights into the circuit that he's running across all of these items. vengeurR looking like he's going to concede this heavy, in fact. Crazy to think, that we've already gone half into this map. It's felt like a quick one.
It has 5-5. People in chat were saying, I'm exhausted already, and that's how you want to watch Quake. Be exhausted by the end of it. Now, it does look like Rapha did finally manage to get Mega, get the heavy. However, is he going to be able to convert that to a frag, right? We've had nothing but back and forth frags up until this point. He's looking for that first time. He might be able to just take that lead and then possibly separate himself a little bit, but vengeurR playing very nicely. Great dance to steal away that heavy, and Rapha just back and forth, didn't know where he was going to go. vengeurR takes that heavy and the Mega, and here we are battling out in the Mega room.
This is a very tricky fight for Rapha to take. vengeurR outstacking him quite considerably. He's trying to go for that range damage. Very minimal damage on that rocket splash, only getting 10 of it. The stack is actually completely even here. But Rapha, right next to the light armor. He feels like he's equipped enough to push in for this heavy. If vengeurR goes down right now, it's going to be a bad time to do so. He's looking to disengage and run away. Rapha needs to put himself in position for the Mega. Should be able to soak this up.
And he gets both, and this, again, this is like only the second time that we've seen Rapha with full control here. vengeurR with some nice moves to just run away from Rapha, stay out of his crosshairs. He's going to go up the jump pad. We're going to have LG versus LG, and Rapha converts with that control an additional frag, giving him the lead 6-5. He is going to be able to pick up heavy and then go ahead and convert right over to the Mega. So will vengeurR try to stop him? Uses Peeker to come out and will be able to secure the Mega.
I feel like he rocked the Pika, and vengeurR punished that with some pretty insane damage. Rapha having to pop the kamikaze pretty much as soon as possible to try and make sure he can get out of that one with his life, and he will. Now remember, for those that might be unaware, or maybe you don't stay as on top of Quake, Doomslayer used to be silent completely, but now, thanks to Doom Eternal, I don't know if that's the actual reason, but he makes damage noises now, which means that when he's close to death, there's more of a giveaway. It was a bit of a knock-on nerf. So in these situations, when Doom's about to go down, you get that extra information that you didn't used to have.
Oh, nice hit on there, full 75 damage, and now vengeurR is hurting. Rapha looks like he's on the hunt. He's going to slow it down just a little bit, trying to get behind him. Does see him, hits one shot with the super shotgun. Going to get a second one, 44 points of damage. He is screaming, just as you mentioned, Ketchup. But there it is, the LG up the pad to grab it, 7-5. And this is the first time that we have seen this large of a gap in the frag.
vengeur's only just spawned, so he's picked up the LG. In many ways, that can sometimes be all you need. A lovely amount of the plasma coming forward. And Rapha without armor, going up that jump pad. Understandably, no way he's going to push up there. A death sentence with no armor ready to go. Only a minute and a half left of this map. Rapha, 2 frags in the lead on Corrupted. Keep you blink, and that can easily change. The snowball effect can be real. He's taking so much damage from that nail. The rockets come in. Rapha, weak, but he's taken away a ton of the armor as well. Who's going to get this mega? He gets caught on the wall, Rapha! A bit of a potential movement mistake, but they trade! What's the spawn?
Unbelievable. I mean, it's back and forth. Both the heavy and the mega were pretty much negated, but they committed to the battle. And we're going to have another one off the spawn. vengeurR with the LG kill to make it 8-7. Damn near tied again with less than 1 minute left to go. And all eyes are on vengeurR.
No! Rapha picks it up. vengeurR pushes forward. He had so much momentum, getting absolutely the more favorable spawn near Mega, soaking it up, taking an LG and pushing on. But now Rapha well equipped to finish the job. 2 frags in 30 seconds. It's absolutely possible, but it's going to be hard when Strog is faster than Doom. It's as simple as that, and he's prioritizing this side of the room. It's very hard for Doom to chase you now.
9-7. There's a light. Rapha just needs to stay out of the crosshairs of his opponent. Oh, not there it is. That'll seal the deal. 10-7. But my goodness, what a close matchup. You know, we were at the 5-minute mark when we had nothing but frag trades back and forth. Neither player really able to grab control in those opening moments, and it wasn't until later on, right around that 6-7 mark, where Rapha finally was able to grab some control, pull away with a bit of a lead, and he will take that first game 10-7 in this best of 5.
vengeurR did so much more damage than Rapha in those endgame stats as well. I think for me that's more of a testament as to how much consistent stack Rapha was able to stay in control of. It's very Rapha-like to play around that, but they were evenly matched as far as combat is concerned, I think. It really did an exchange. It was only until the last couple of minutes of the map that he was able to pull away to a degree. And just checking out this highlight reel, the amount of frags that they just traded.
Yeah.
I take one, you take one, and we just rinse and repeat that.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty, but again, like that's exciting Quake. And you know, I would make the observation that this is exactly the shape that we want to see both of these players in, right? Confident in their own skills, respectful of the opponent, but still it's do or die, right? And I you know, we talked about, will Rapha bring his best game? Will vengeurR bring his best? And both players bring in their best game for sure. We are going to be moving on to Awoken next, and it's going to be Athena for Rapha and Sorlag for vengeurR, and this should be an equally interesting matchup.
The gap is starting to shorten a little bit when it comes to vengeur's dominance on Awoken. I think this time last year we'd be talking about how vengeurR was just shy of unbeatable on this map in the online world, and he was proving in the LAN environment that he's able to be just as dominant. But he has got a favorable matchup here if we're talking about the ability to do damage, have a good restack. The movement is a big part of this. vengeurR is going to be able to fly around the map, but on that note, Athena from Rapha, he's shown us many times that he is one of the best Athena players in the business, and it just helps him reposition. If we're talking about movement versus movement, that grappling hook is going to be so good to stop Sorlag from just trapping you, and that's it. You know, Athena often has a backup plan, and that backup plan is, see you later, I'm out. See you later, mate.
Yeah, I have to say I've been really impressed and enjoyed all the matchups that I've been able to see lately that have featured Athena. Originally, I was like, I'm not sure how much I'm going to like this, but you know, the players bring such a unique style and way to play the champ, and kind of how they use to either get an advantage or get additional speed. It's just, I love it, so I'm excited to see this one. Awoken is the next map, and we're going to be hopping into it in just a moment. Thank you to everyone who has joined joined us here throughout the weekend. It's hard to believe that there are only 4 players remaining catch-up. 2 of them happen to be Maestro, 2 of them happen to be Team Liquid, but one of them is our champion.
And we don't have a lot of time left until that champion's going to be crowned. It could very easily be one of these 2 in the grand finals, if we're talking about chances. And that wasn't me stating the obvious, I promise. I mean, if we're talking about player versus player, I wouldn't be surprised if either of these are able to take it. Rapha absolutely has got into this weekend as one of the favorites. And vengeurR, I think it's more of a case of he wasn't one of the clear-cut favorites, but there's a lot of people that want it to be that way. You're always wanting vengeurR to go from result to result to result. He is getting closer and closer, but it feels like it's long overdue that he gets a giant win eventually, and the World Championship would be one hell of a way to secure that.
It really would be, absolutely. And, you know, a lot of folks have said, hey, this is a player who's going to reach that status. And if that happened to be at the Quake World Championship, amazing. And we are officially live.
Looks like we're checking out Rapha first, so be prepared for that short and snappy movement. Athena, what she does better than pretty much any other champion is the creativity you can show with the movement on a lot of maps. And for reasons like that, most other champions would be stuck in an unsurvivable situation off that jump pad. Athena can just simply reposition.
Yeah, we've seen it here on Awoken, seen it on DM6 a bunch as well. Just some really, really intelligent
and he
movement.
wins.
There it is.
Wins the fight.
Yep, 1-0, 38 seconds on the clock, and again, just using that hook to get the right positioning. He has control of the Mega, going to do it again to get up to the window, and you know, vengeurR kind of finding himself like, you know, it's like you trip and you're trying to find your footing again, but you just can't quite find your footing, and you just can't. He hasn't found that, you know, opening minute footing yet.
And Rapha's maintaining some very strong positions here near Mega. As it is about to spawn, 100% chance he's going to be able to outlast vengeurR in this position and take it. The damage over time going to be swiftly stopped. Looking for another rail shot. Now on the subject of rails, difference in this matchup, the light versus heavy on a map this small, where the heavy can respawn with a giant stack. Rapha's going to have to hit as many shots as possible to compete. The good thing is, it's been a minute and a half, 3 frags in the lead. He has been hitting these shots, and doing it during Athena's movement is no easy task.
None at all. You know, Rapha has been hitting all of these rails as well, which makes it very difficult for vengeurR, especially off the spawn. If you start and boom, you're a rail already down 1 rail in terms of like trying to put yourself back together. It becomes very, very
the cool
situation. Oh.
Rapha knowing that the sound of the grappling hook is a dead giveaway that he's chasing it, and he just goes back down the other way. The perfect bait, and vengeurR no choice but to take it. I kind of feel like he was so weak, he was damned if he does and damned if he doesn't right there.
2 minutes in, catch-up now. It's 4-0. Rapha looking very, very comfortable on this map so far with Athena. vengeurR, you know, I'm still waiting for those, you know, initial rails, trying to find an open opportunity, but it just hasn't been presented yet. You know, I think if anything, that just goes to say and show how much Rapha is actually locking things down here on Awoken.
One of the things that Rapha's always been so good at is looking at the champion matchup that is before him. And I don't want to use the term counter-picking, but playing in a matchup that he feels he has the best chance with if we're looking at champions. It's not really about comfort pick. I think he's comfortable on every single champion in the game. It's more about, and that's as much damage as he could do with that head-on collision. It's more about looking at this kind of thing and going, all right, Sorlag, okay, what kind of picks can I have here? Now, I can't remember the order off the top of my head, but it's something that he's well known for. Always within a chance, you know? Sure. I guess that's the term.
And this is kind of the moment that I was looking for, right? vengeurR getting that first frag, and then how is he going to bring it back together? And a trade here, as we did have a rail shot from vengeurR, he was able to get off the spawn. They exchanged some nice rockets, got the frag, and then picks up his second frag off of a trade. Things equalize just a little bit, but it's Rapha who's going to pick up that heavy. vengeurR doing a good job kind of like hacking away at that stack, and no one really with control yet after that exchange.
Although vengeurR has a rail, it's still going to be a bit of a risk, unless down here, you know, it's more of a likely shot. One missed rail is going to allow rapha to completely push in. That's a good shot. It's going to somewhat stunt this momentum. rapha has to disengage and pick up the light that's near banana, so that is going to waste a little bit of time and change his movement. But as we now go into heavy, this is an item that vengeurR really can't challenge. Instead, I think he's trying to get as much armor as he can and set this up. That rocket was really good. The backwards movement from vengeurR is pretty good to save his skin. The question is he delaying the inevitable, or is rapha going to take a little bit more damage?
Yeah, that's unfortunately a question only time is going to help us answer here. Oh, another great rail out of the telly, and although that rocket did hit, and a beautiful rail with that 4 points of health. Another follow-up rocket. I mean, how much damage is he going to do at 4 health? The answer was quite a bit. It's not enough to get the kill, but at least to keep your opponent at bay. 2-4 right now. He's going to try to contest the heavy, and it is still, or excuse me, the mega, and he was able to grab that away.
vengeurR with the discipline not to take the light health that was near the outside of that LG spawn point, by the way, because there was always a chance that rapha comes around the corner and then you're stuck in no man's land. So he makes sure to stick at the health bubbles that are completely guaranteed to not risk his life here. And he's done a wonderful job of stabilizing how weak he was and how much stack he's been able to bring back up. Very impressive indeed. In the nature of Awoken, you can easily pick up these 2 frags. It takes 1 good frag with a good stack and then maybe a favorable spawn, and that's it. Click your fingers and he's made a comeback. rapha knows this. He's going to play the careful game, making noise that vengeurR will be listening out for, but the question is, where's he going to go?
Well, less than 5 minutes left. vengeurR has an idea where he might be. Sends out a rocket, a tribal, is going to reposition now, grab himself a light as well. So he's at least got a stack, which is what he needs to face off versus rapha. Now a little bit of science. He using those cues to see where he's at. Nice spit coming out to defensively keep rapha in that corner. The rockets continue to fire out, and now the LG battle in the main room. Some nice damage done against rapha from vengeurR, and now he's going to be on the chase. But God,
rail!
Oh my God, 2 defensive rails coming out from rapha, making it 5-2.
Insanity from rapha, the clutch to look at the situation and think, all I got to do is hit 2 more rails and I'm back in it, ignoring his stack in effect, not letting it phase him. Now vengeurR has been able to collect a heavy. The danger is that now, every time rapha gets a frag that vengeurR cannot answer back to, this job is just going to get harder and harder. Beats him to the mega and the 2-piece combo. Thank you very much. The American looking better and better as this map progresses.
And obviously wanting to continue to spread that frag difference out as much as they can and hold on to control. 6 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock. There is still plenty of time. As you mentioned, a fast-paced match, 1 single frag, a little bit of control can change everything. But just watching rapha swing around and take the positions that he wants to take and be almost forcing vengeurR into the areas that he wants to fight him in, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
He outstacks vengeurR significantly. All it takes is 1 opening rail here, of which it looks like rapha's fishing for it. I think he actually knocked vengeurR down. Did vengeurR even have a chance to pick up a rail there? I'm not so convinced. Oh, right as he picked up the rail, the wonderful shot from rapha pushes him off the ledge. The combos again. Super shotgun is going to max the damage, especially now this gun is beefy in the current version of the game.
Yep, no armor, but grabs that heavy. And the mega as well, sitting on a great little stack, knows exactly where vengeurR is, and likes to keep him back here. Oh man.
No jump pad needed. That's the Athena effect. She doesn't have to use those risky ways of elevating.
Yeah, agreed. And it's nice to see that chunky damage from the super shock. A great rail coming out yet again, going to reposition, come from above. And I mean, you know, based off of what we've seen in game 1 and now what we're seeing in game 2 catch up, rapha is looking very, very strong.
Oh my lord, 100 damage to open things up. Remember, there's a minute 50 on the clock and rapha's 6 frags in the lead. That kind of 100 damage rocket is disaster. You have to take time to get your stack back up, and that's time you don't have anymore.
Yeah,
now rapha hitting the defensive angles. Oh, that's a good start. Oh, never mind, he's out.
by, but vengeurR does have some armor at this point. Is not going to be able to get that mega. He has been hitting some reasonably good shots, getting a little bit aggressive here against Rapha. The spit goes down, but it's not going to matter. Again, just using that grapple to get into the position he wants to get in. 9-2, a hefty lead here for Rapha.
More of these defensive rockets, and that is as much damage as he can possibly squeeze out. A point blank. vengeurR to take the heavy here, but 6 frags in 1 minute. Prepared to call it GG on this one. Even on a map like this, rapha is not going to make himself easy to pin down. He's always going to be able to escape. He's been able to get 1 frag. I mean, for the sake of it being a World Championships, I'm going to say never just in case, but I'm pretty sure rapha's going to move on for the 2-0.
Yeah, and I mean, think about that, a best of 5 here in the winner bracket final, you know, keeping yourself in a little bit of safety. And, I mean, this is like the best position that Rapha could possibly ask for, right? To be 2 games up in this best 5, only needing the 1, and with just 30 seconds left to go, that is certainly going to seal the deal.
We're going to be moving into a map that rapha is incredibly competent on. A classic, Blood Covenant, will be our next destination. So the chance of a 3-0 at this stage is likely for sure. I'm not going to lose faith in vengeurR just yet. He has played out of his skin this weekend, but this is the championship level rapha that we know and love, and he's 2 maps up in this winners finals.
Yeah, that's you know, almost shocking, especially just considering how the first matchup went. I mean, would you expect that you'd be up 2-0 here to start?
I'm going to be completely honest that I wouldn't have been surprised no matter the result, because these 2 players are so insanely close in skill recently. If vengeurR had this win on rapha, it's okay, cool. vengeurR has been playing really well this weekend, and this could be his moment. If rapha, it's like, okay, yeah, well, of course, rapha's said to be the best Quake player of all time, right? So this is just the level that we're at. When the best takes on the best, anything is possible. I will admit, I have expected it to be a 3-2. So if it is a 3-0, I feel like a 3-0 was the least likely result of these 2, but rapha, I mean, he always brings his A+ game in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone would be equally shocked, especially just based off of how well vengeurR has played throughout the entire tournament. But I throw back to actually a comment that DeHang made, right, where he's like, everyone is kind of, right, there's no powering up during this tournament. You're going to try to bring the best games that you can. It all comes down to, like, what is that 5% that you bring, and what does that allow you to do in a matchup? In this particular case, you know, I guess rapha's really going deep down from that 5% right now. But vengeurR has looked so incredible all weekend. I would be shocked if it was a 3-0.
And I would agree. And there's also an air of concern where I really hope he doesn't get to vengeurR. He takes losses very hard because he knows the standards of which he's held up for himself and the rest of the community. Everyone knows that he's one of the best players in the world. He's had an entire year of progress where this time last year he was at QuakeCon in person. I believe he lost to Nosfer. Nosfer was popping off. Nosfer was feeling himself. That was his breakout performance of that year. And vengeurR, he felt bad about that, you know, because he wanted to do better than he was able to perform, especially when he played so well beforehand. And then as we went stage upon stage upon stage, when we're talking about finals, he starts to get better and better, where it's almost coming full circle, where now we're in this pretty much exactly 1 year later. He's this far deep into the bracket where he has a really good shot of winning the entire tournament. If he goes down now to a 3-0, there is all the chance there's going to be somewhat of a mental knock to go, oh, damn, okay, I guess I've got to play in the lower bracket now, and knowing vengeurR, he's got what it takes to forget about that. But
yeah,
for his sake, any map alone is going to help that confidence. If he
I agree. And you know, like 3-0s happen in this position. We've seen finals that have just been complete shutouts before. We've seen semifinals, like winner bracket final. The thing that would worry me more than anything is vengeurR losing 3-0 and then having to drop down to the losers, battle through that, and, you know, just like carry that mental baggage, that luggage with you that says, man, am I just going to go back and have a repeat performance? Or maybe it's motivation to say, am I going to go back and am I going to be able to get my revenge?
Oh yes, at this level most players will either do one of those two things, but when they're this good, I think rising to the occasion is always more likely. And to be fair, whoever loses this matchup, they don't have to play almost immediately because we're going into our lower bracket round 6, which will be Raise the Into Hang, right? So either player after this is going to get that break, so it's not like you're going to have to play and then immediately play your next match. There is going to be that time to kind of, you know, wipe the sweat off the brow and then move into whatever happens next, prepare whatever it might be. Sounds like we should be loading into this next map soon. The matchup, I believe, is going to be Slash versus Nyx. vengeurR on a Nyx. We've seen all weekend long how amazingly he can play that defensive game when he's conceding those items, when he's allowing you to kind of outstack him, because his defensive shots are always so on the money. Adding Nyx to that allows him to just be a little bit safer in that game plan. And I think he has a good chance here, although a classic map with rapha is always a bad combination if you're on the receiving end.
I mean, there's some truth to that. It doesn't always hold true, but it's literally a map that rapha's been playing for, 10 plus years now. On Slash, I think that's pretty interesting. Certainly the way that these two champions interact as far as movement is concerned, I think that will set us up for a great match. And also, I just do not expect vengeurR to say, all right, well, I'm a little beat up, I might as well just take the final licking. Like, I expect him to come out swinging hard on this one, Ketchup, and let's get ready for Blood Covenant.
I'm sure he's pumped. He's going into this probably feeling like, if there's a second wind, we need it right now, because there is every opportunity that Kid Bellissimo can take the reverse sweep. It's gonna be hard. Chat, if you've got faith, you need to lend him your energy right now, because he is running out of time.
2, 1.
He is at 3, 2, 1 fight. Let's do it. Following rapha off the spawn, immediately gonna pop the trail. Watch out for that rails. Fires a couple rockets over to grab it. And he, gave up Mega, but he will pick up the heavy, no problem. Misses that rail, and well, they'll go on their separate ways. Catch up as we start off game 3.
Now, I would say there is a slightly classic Blood Covenant start, but to be honest, not so much. Both players looking to assert some kind of damage. vengeurR absolutely in a better position. Controlling the high ground gives you a lot of information, a lot of vision. And he's looking for the early push, in fact. And if he plays his cards right, he's not even going to need the Ghost Walk. Misses the rail. That is punishing. rapha was 100% railable there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, that little kiss to the wall I thought was going to be the end of rapha, but he managed to survive another day. Playing silent here on the middle level now. Thinks he knows where vengeurR is. Sees the rail. Nice flick. And that one is going to hit. A second one as he goes up the jump pad. And misses that one. Actually couldn't pick it up, so it doesn't matter. And now he'll just head on over, see if he can land one more. vengeurR in danger zone right here. Takes 2 shots with the super shotgun, but rapha also in the danger zone.
Now, looking likely both of these players are going to simply say, I take one, you take one. That's going to be the case. Mega for vengeurR, heavy for rapha. And we go back to this long-range game plan. Both players looking to take that stack. Soften the blow of having to go in a little bit. Shutting things down. I love that rapha is trying very hard to keep vengeurR away from that one position, just in case he tries to get an angle on you. Trying to really force him towards the left. Both players miss. Good choice from vengeurR to go for the LG. If rapha's going to miss these rails, let's get some free damage.
Super calculated right there as well. Definitely a lot of respect between these two players with trying to make them play their game, but neither is, well, they're both being stubborn about it, which is great. 0-0, 2 minutes into the matchup. Nothing on the board yet for either of these players, and now rapha silently coming out there. The double jump, or the wall jump to come up is not going to be able to trap rapha in there, although he did knock away all of his armor.
Do love seeing those little double jumps, whether it's a wall jump with Nyx or a double jump from the Slayer. Those cheeky little corners where you're just not looking for them to be above your head. rapha is in danger, does get a teleport rail, so that's a nice little start. Still railable with this health, only just not with 100 HP, but the man needs armor. He's going to make the read to go towards the Mega. If he takes a rail, he knows he can survive the blow, and he's going to take away the Mega opportunity from vengeurR. This heavy is still up, and now he's got an unreturned rail. There's every possibility to take this, but here comes the rockets. vengeurR, his rockets have been disgusting all weekend long, but rapha has been forced away.
And that was great by vengeurR. I mean, obviously rapha wanted to hit that rail and capitalize and on grabbing that heavy. but some good defensive shots there. And vengeur's gonna hit the first frag from the floor. He's up 1-0 now. Nicely done. Just a pinpoint shot on Rapha.
I had a sip from my juice right as he hit that rail, almost choked on it, but he's going to get a second frag. vengeurR just in time for the heavy, excuse me, to spawn. And now he's going to have flawless timing and giant delay between the two of these items, so he can run that full circuit should the opportunity present itself. Being able to get that against rapha is no easy task though, and he's likely to take out vengeurR right before Mega spawns thanks to some gorgeous lightning gun tracking.
Very, very nicely done. Just follow those sixes and they'll take you all the way. And here we go now with the Mega in hand. Rapha going to be sliding around the map, getting ready for that heavy to spawn. Knows about the timing of it, and there we'll pick it up. Still plenty of separation between the Mega and the heavy to allow one of these players to try to hold on to full control. Miss one another there on the top platform, and we'll see vengeurR back off to regain position.
It's a bit of a loss for vengeurR in that respect because he had the perfect trap and rapha didn't see it coming. It's just the damage to actually pay out wasn't there, and it's something you wouldn't normally expect from vengeurR. Seemed a little bit like bad fortune in a sense, but rapha's able to use this crouch sliding speed to take this heavy, but it wouldn't be rapha if he wasn't already looking to deny extra items too. The light versus light matchup, if he controls all the light armors, what does vengeurR use to survive?
That's a great question, and the trap set up yet a second time, but rapha was ready for it. Hits the rail, a second nice shot, and now he knows that his opponent's on the run. Trail pops out, and he unfortunately falls down there because of that rocket blast came out from vengeurR, so he will just take his side yet again, denying those lights and getting ready for the heavy.
Now vengeurR is getting some really good rockets with no armor left to go, and a shotgun blast that didn't hit its mark. vengeurR finishes. Now rapha will know that he's weak, in terms of HP anyway, but with the heavy being taken, he's going to have to show this a bunch of respect, even being near Mega. vengeurR's looking to sort himself out with some range first. Has to get a rail, the rail gun. So important to shut down. rapha from range misses the shot. Has to be careful here. Looks like rapha could go in for the kill.
Yeah, vengeurR on the lower level does grab. There, the rockets are raining down to 20, but there it is. The third rocket will do its job, putting rapha back on the board now, and he is going to pick up the heavy and now make his way eventually over to the Mega as well. Does find vengeurR yet again. LG from the top to the bottom. Oh, misses that rail, but vengeurR hits his at a second rail to make it 4-2.
Perfectly timed for this Mega. And there's a light armor for good measure. 4 minutes left on the clock. Remember, folks, vengeurR needs this map. He's 2-0 down. This is an opportunity to catch your breath a little bit, go into a new map, refreshed. The start of the reverse sweep could begin here, but he has to survive for 4 minutes against the greatest Quake player on the planet. I mean, kind of tricky, but definitely up to the task as he gets another one. And it's going to be 5-2 this point.
Keep playing like that right there, and I think he's going to be able to do it. Just a complete locked on LG for the frag, and there was nowhere for rapha to go in that situation. And vengeurR slowing it down a little bit, which I like. He's got the position too. He's got a little bit of the advantage. Heavy is grabbed by rapha. Rail is hit, and rapha, on the chase, a rocket. Trail does come out, and the ghost walk as well. But vengeurR still with 100 health. Grab that Mega.
Now with 3 minutes left to go, things do start to get a little bit scary for rapha here. He absolutely has the time to turn this around, but hitting these rails on Nyx, a little bit harder to do it now. He's conceded another frag. It went from 3 to 4, and a spawning rail. He's got no weapons now either, by the way. This machine gun and tri-bolt is as good as it's going to get back then, but it gets enough to push him away. But look how weak he is, This is insane.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? vengeurR knows it. He's going to that super shotgun, pulls out the LG, pushes it through the teleporter, and doesn't matter. Pulls out the machine gun to finish it off. 2-7. Whatever, vengeurR dug into his pocket and grabbed out is what he needed, because since about that 4 minute mark, 5 minute mark, he really has been giving it to rapha here.
Hitting most of these shots. The boldness to keep pushing forward. Not content with a small lead, he wants to make it as large as possible. Keep those chances high.
Yeah.
Now 2 minutes left. Really good chance that vengeur's going to take this by the end of things now. A little bit of rocket, not even for the damage, but just for the information. He's going to start to go for a shift of pace. Nice little trap spin laid. Doesn't even matter that he's missed the rail because it's knocked Rapha down. He can just back up now. Trying to go for a chase down on the armor. Bit predictable. vengeur's able to chase this one down, but Rapha's been put behind again. He has to spend time to get his stack back up, and it's time that he's lost.
vengeur's LG has just been incredible this matchup. And yeah, I mean, you know, you made mention of like not being able to follow up that rail, and at that point it really didn't matter, did it? Like anything that would also just prevent Rapha from utilizing the time on the timer to get frags is in vengeur's advantage. Obviously, it's like to his advantage. So yeah, that worked out perfectly for vengeurR despite having missed that follow-up rail. Frag would be nice, but he's just as happy wasting time for Rapha as well.
About a minute left on the clock. This should by all means be done. On these smaller maps, maybe that kind of snowball effect can be squeezed out in the last minute. Blood Covenant, a large map, and the fact that vengeur's going to get at least one more Ghost Walk, probably two, if he can get the hourglasses. There's also going to be time that Rapha can't challenge. That's a GG, another rocket. vengeur's going to get his stack back up. The GGs do come through because this is finished. And a vital map for the Italian to take.
I mean, vital is absolutely right. Everyone in chat was saying, all right, it's time for the reverse sweep, but it has to start somewhere. And being up 2-0, that could be crushing. That can really be mentally crushing. But an amazing player who is in the winner bracket final of the Quake World Championship here is going to have the mental fortitude to be able to say, whatever, I just got to win the next 3 games. So that's how it's just got to be. So as these final seconds tick away, we know the outcome of this one. vengeurR is going to stay alive, making it 2-1. Rapha still 1 map away from securing his spot in the grand finals. But vengeurR, he actually is making the reverse sweep possibility something that could come out here.
I was in the closing moments of that map paying attention to a little bit of the chat during those final seconds. There's still a lot of vengeurR supporters as well, people that truly believe in him, and I love to see it. The real rise of the younger generation of Quake and your players where Quake Champions is the Quake that puts them on the map. And for vengeurR, it's definitely that case. He's one of the prime examples of that. And this map alone was extremely tense for a fair chunk, but once vengeurR got the lead, he was hitting those rails, he was keeping Rapha weak, got some good callouts on the spawn, and Rapha just simply couldn't recover. Now, that was a larger map, remember, so we had Corrupted Keep and then Awoken as our first 2. Blood Covenant is an instant change of pace. We're going into a similar realm, though, as our next map is going to be Ruins of Sana.
Yeah, and before we kind of talk about that, just watching some of these shots and was reminded of the little shotgun battle that happened near the heavy stairs. And I feel like that was the point of the game in which, you know, maybe it immediately was out of the hands of Rapha at that point. I feel like he had the advantage, but vengeurR played it very, very nicely, using that upper level kind of to his advantage. And some nice frags here. Again, the LG of vengeurR was definitely on point when it needed to be. 8-2. You mentioned Ruins. We've got Rapha on BJ and vengeurR on Ison. What do you think about these 2 champions in this map pick?
Positioning will mean a great deal. BJ plays for that one moment to either force you off an item or to catch you in a bad spot, pull out that deceivingly high damage count. Sometimes it can be as simple as the very start. If you get lightning gun spawn and someone goes into the wrong part of town, you pull out 2 of them, that's it. That's the best start you could ask for. But, I mean, we'll have to find out how it goes. 2 mediums, so there's not going to be a major stack difference between the 2 of them. I'm just more curious to see if this reverse sweep is actually possible. Whether that map was just a breath of fresh air, a chance for Rapha to maybe step things up to 11, or whether really this is going to be that Cinderella story where vengeurR has been going from strength to strength across the course of an entire year. A reverse sweep to get into grand finals. I mean, you can't even write a better storyline than that.
You can't. And I mean, a win here on this map just kind of negates it all and puts it all into Molten Falls. And that's an exciting place to be. I mean, vengeurR kind of staying alive to keep it around, but he's still got a bit of a mountain to climb here because Rapha still has a 1 game of breathing room. So looks like we are about to jump into Ruins. And thank you for joining us here. This is the winner bracket final. If you've just joined us, and a reminder, you can play one game of Quake Champions this weekend and unlock all of the champions that are available. So go and do it now. I know you're getting excited by watching the action that we have got here, and we continue rapha versus vengeurR.
There's a lot of you wonderful people watching the stream. I saw it for myself after the first map. Grab Quake, free to download, play a map, get the game and all the champions for free. I don't know why you wouldn't after watching these matches, but looking at the start either way, it is going to be rapha on the BJ, of course, and it's all about early positioning. The Mega hasn't been taken yet, so the first play, the first call to action, vengeurR, we delay the Mega. Maybe if we can set up a good frag here, that cycle can begin earlier than we're used to seeing it.
And very slow off the start here. I kind of like to see this dropping down to the lower level. rapha's going to get ready for that heavy. Oh, and a little bit early for that. And vengeurR is going to come in, drop a couple rockets, be like, thanks for keeping it warm for me.
This early aggression is precisely why vengeurR delayed that Mega to begin with. Now he's delayed it. Look, he's got both of them. The only weapon he lacks right now is a rail. I think that might be one of his next objectives, but as he now looks out for rapha on this next frag, he's in position for heavy, perfectly timing them both. That rail was excellent for rapha to start things off, shut down some of the benefit of the stack that vengeurR's been able to build up. That turret is going to waste some time. Another good rail comes through, but it's swiftly dealt with thanks to the heavy pickup. Wait a minute, is rapha looking to trap here, or is he? No, he's got the dual wield. He gives himself the armor.
Ways to put it out there, and he's going to get hit with the rocket, down to 17 points health.
1 HP!
Oh! And there it is. He does manage to pick it up, tying this game up 1-1, and the Mega Health is waiting there. That was a very interesting exchange, Ketcha.
Great play from rapha. He knows that vengeurR's going to go up the jump pad. He's already looking out for the light armor that's in that corner, and he has the dual wield. That was a calculated experience, and it pays off with the reward of a frag. The danger now is that vengeurR has tons of armor, and that's why rapha has this rail gun in his hands. He's looking to shut down quite a vast majority of it before the fight breaks out. Neither player really able to connect any of the plasma. And here come the rails again. One of them hits the mark, but it's not going to be enough. rapha without armor. He has to sweat here a little bit. vengeurR hits one rail and he's in a bad spot. And that's just assuming he doesn't go for a rocket or something else. Speaking of rockets, 100 damage to shut down vengeurR's advance. Uh-oh. Hello, little friend.
Yeah, and goodbye, little friend. Knows the position, at least for a moment there. That turret came from up above. We've got the dual wheel coming out, and is not going to be able to do much of anything with it, but does take control of that room. Still following vengeurR. rapha misses that rail, tries to follow up with some more LG damage, a rail from above as well. But didn't want to drop down there, is going to drop down anyway. He does get nailed with the defensive rocket, but he's going to pick up that heavy and get the frag, putting him in the lead in this game. Follows up with another rail, a second rail, and vengeurR is in some trouble.
Absolutely. 2 rails fresh off the spawn. All vengeurR has is a machine gun. Getting the Mega at the right time, but the rockets are good. And the patience from rapha to just let vengeurR sink, set up the pretty much guaranteed extra 100, and he seals the deal with another frag, looking for a rail. vengeurR gets tagged, and he's weak as anything, in no position to take this heavy. Good thing he didn't go in the LG room for too long, because that rocket almost hit him.
That would have been rough. He just had a few hit points remaining. It definitely would have killed him. Oh, a huge damage with the super shotgun, and then the Akimbo super shotgun. It's a nightmare. Making it 4-1 here, and rapha feels like he's found some comfort now.
Absolutely, and he's establishing an early lead. The divide between the 2 major items continues to be large as well, which does make me worry for vengeurR a little bit. We've seen how often rapha is able to just lock in control, and most players are simply unable to take that momentum away from him. He has to wait for the regeneration on the stack. vengeurR actually going to double up and not really sit around to fight for too long. It was very brave of rapha to push in there, actually, with how weak he was. He must have been confident vengeurR wasn't going to stick around either. The player read was off the chain.
I think you're right, but vengeurR did know when to back out after dealing that damage. There wasn't much else he was going to do. We've got dual rocket launchers coming out there. Again, not really doing much damage, but you can see he's almost just using this to like push his opponent out of areas or into areas where he would like him to be, allowing him little bit more control over Mega and Heavy. But now going to head back in, sees the turret, takes that out. And we are about to hit the 5-minute point in this game catch up. Still plenty of time, and both players I feel like playing very, very well. Some nice rails going back and forth, and now Rapha a little bit of trouble.
If Rapha is going to choose to disengage, there could certainly be worse places of the map he could choose to prioritize. There are plenty of hourglasses around near Super Shotgun.
Sure.
You've got down in the LG room, near the Super Shotgun itself, and if you're looking for a dual wield to fight fire with fire while they're starting to outstack you, dual wield can swiftly deal with any lead you might have. It's a good place to go. Listens out for the Mega. He's going to have perfect timing on both of the items now. But Rapha's in a better position for this Heavy. But he doesn't quite know where vengeur's going to advance. He's looking out for it. And here comes the fight.
Oh,
He's gonna
dropping
go
down from above the
Extra
rockets.
spam.
Yeah, and Rapha down to just about 25 health, picks up 50. vengeurR was able to capitalize very nicely off of that. A little dangerous move, a little risky. There is the rail to finally put himself back on the board, and now we got ourselves a game here.
Another rail. Can he get a third? No, he misses it. But with the Mega being taken, he actually has an opportunity to double back. Can he find him? And can he finish it? Good shot from Rapha.
Wow.
Rapha, just the bravery to know, I know you're going to chase, but if I hit this rail, you can't chase me anymore. A lot of players would not stick around there. Their objective is to run for the hills.
Yep, shutting it down right there. Absolutely right on that one. vengeur's going to come on through. Misses that rail. That would have been huge, as Rapha is struggling to kind of get back on his feet after this last frag. Another great rail, and now they're finally coming out from vengeurR. He's really using these shots to try to regain back some positioning here on Ruins.
Rapha's having to play quite a slow-paced game here, while vengeurR has really no gauge on where he's retreated to. So much of this map and so many places you could go, and no audio cues from that far away. The danger is that while vengeurR keeps the stack, hang on a minute, a close-range exchange. Here comes the LG Rapha. The double shotgun does as much damage as he can, but he's not going to be able to spawn and punish vengeurR. There's going to be a free Mega to be had, and the delay between the items continues to be extreme. Has the rail out. I love Rapha's positioning, going for the rail, knowing that he's likely to take the small armor, and he is going to get one free shot. Is it going to be enough for him to push in, though? He has one light. Is that enough, Wheat?
I don't think so, at least not at this point. In fact, they're just going to leave one another alone. Heavy picked up by vengeurR, and some great exchanges in these last two fights that we've seen here. vengeurR definitely hitting more of his shots than he was in the first, say, 3-4 minutes. But an interesting sort of situation now, looking at the frag lead, which is 2, and then of course the amount of time, about 2.5 minutes left, and Rapha can kind of change up and put a lot of the onus on vengeurR to make those chases, to make these plays. And wow, huge chase coming up here.
Wouldn't be vengeurR without a cheeky little rocket jump, would it? One of the players that uses them to the greatest effect that we see in the Pro League. Now he hits an opening rail, a fantastic shot. Rapha denies the angle at the last minute, but the Super Shotgun should have other plans. This missed rail means a death sentence, surely. How does Rapha survive this? The Super Shotgun, wait, just doesn't do the damage. That's not a major win for vengeurR, because he wanted to be healthier than that.
Yeah, that was actually surprising. I thought he was going to easily be able to finish off Rapha. Went back behind, behind that jump pad, and just unfortunately wasn't able to do it the way he wanted to. But he's just one frag shy of tying this up, and I do feel like he has got some pretty wicked momentum here, Ketchup, to be able to pull this off. It is an exciting moment here with less than 2 minutes left to go. vengeurR knowing he must get this frag.
Tricky positioning though, swapping to a rocket launcher, but no way of getting good enough splash. You had to go for a direct or bust. On the verge of, you've got 2 lightning guns right in front of you. This is a tricky business. But you are correct. He's playing like a player that wants to be in grand finals, and he's fighting tooth and nail for it. The danger now is that he's weak as hell. He has to restack, while at the same time just avoiding Rapha like the plague for a few seconds while he brings it back up. The problem is now Rapha's going to be able to soak up the major items in the meantime, making this 1 minute a very scary minute indeed.
Very, very scary minute. And this is also a scary moment when vengeurR just doesn't see his opponent. No shots up. I take it back. There he is. The rail does land as well, but Rapha's going to put that pressure on. Dual lightning guns, and that is going to be a very, very difficult position for vengeurR to be in. Down by 2 frags, less than 40 seconds to go, and Rapha came out of that fight pretty healthy.
There's no way Rapha is going to be feeling the heat now. He's such a seasoned veteran that he's going to play rock solid until the bitter end. 25 seconds on the clock. vengeurR needs to get 2 frags, and by the time the map comes to a close, Rapha's going to be so healthy. The push begins. He has no choice but to dedicate, but this position is very hard to chase. Where's he going to retreat? He does not have time. He might get Rapha now, but he just can't find the spawn, and Rapha will delay it still. That is going to be all she wrote, and it will be DJ Wheat. Rapha moving into grand finals first.
I mean, I'm certainly happy that it wasn't a 3-0. And I did feel, I believed, Ketchup, I believed that vengeurR was going to be able to bring that back. I mean, it could have gone either way. A very, very nice game, I think, played by both of those players. What was the final score on that one? I missed it. What, 6-4? Yeah. So, you know, not surprised to see just how well rapha has been playing as of today. You know, there was some comments that we watched some of his games the day before. You know, that is this the rapha that could win a competition? Well, the answer back then was like, we haven't quite seen it. Answer today, it feels like he's here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Ketchup, we'll be able to break down the game. I think we'll have a winner interview as well. We'll sit tight. We'll let you know. We got far more Quake action coming at you here on day 3, the final day of the Quake World Championship. Don't go away. We'll be right back.